We're back online, baby. First episode of the year.
2025, and it's already February. What the hell?
Yeah, what in the world? Okay, so this is gonna trip you out, but we're already 1/12th of the way done with 2025.
It feels like just yesterday that we were ringing in the new year in Costa Rica.
I know.
Yeah, it was actually really nice to take a break from festivals, shows, because we normally go to a festival like Decadence, Countdown, and all of those. So it was nice to just take a break and go and be with our best friends out in Costa
Yeah.
Rica.
Also, it's just nice to not have service and to like be unavailable, because even when you take vacation, you're still in the States. I feel like we're still always kind of locked in. But when I go to another country mentally, I'm like, okay, there's a barrier up. Like I can actually relax.
Exactly. So, but when it comes to running a business, you're running it 24/7 basically. So there's no
Yeah,
breaks.
there are
All
no
gas.
breaks.
All gas, no breaks.
When you have the final say, I mean, that's a blessing and a curse sometimes, but it helps when you have someone else to do it with, honestly.
Yep, just take turns.
Yeah.
Well, if you guys haven't seen, we actually launched our record label, which is super exciting. Beat Intelligence
Yay.
Network, BIN.
The bin is
So
live.
the BIN is live. It's another government branch under the FBI HQ.
The EDM government. Yeah.
Literally.
Yeah. So right now we're looking for rhythm and heavy dubstep. So all you producers out there, we know you've been cooking over this cold weather spell that we've had. So send demos at dubstepfbi.com. You can also go to dubstepfbi.com, click on label, and there's a form right there that you can use. But we're about to listen to like over 100 demos this week. So send us what you got. And yeah, I mean, we just want to give another shout out to our friends Hostile over in LA, dude. They continue to put on some of the sickest rhythm warehouse parties in the whole West Coast, in the whole country, really. They just announced a show on Saturday, March 1st with OG Nixon. And you know that support card is going to be stacked when it's a Hostile lineup. We got Chibs, Zuba, Swando, the girl Hex, Midroll, and Duck Beats, and it's at a secret warehouse. So go cop your ticks, go get on the Hostile text line, and honestly, I'm sure that this is just the beginning of what they have in store. So huge shout out to our friends at Hostile.
Yeah, I mean, we got them under investigation as always, so we're just waiting for them to send over the next secret lineups. So we'll
Yeah.
keep you all posted, and we will always post any upcoming shows that they have.
And we have one more huge secret that I'm actually not going to keep secret right now. We are having a label launch party at Club Studio Time on March 7th. So, all of our Denver peeps, keep an eye out for that RSVP, and we hope to see you there.
We will not drop the lineup yet, but basically, the artist who is releasing on the label with us is also going to be at the Club Studio party. So stay locked.
FBI.
Hi, nice to meet you.
Hey, yeah, so good to meet you. How are you guys doing?
Doing
Good.
good.
It's the end of a long work day for us. We work full-time jobs, so, the eyes are strained, but this
Yes.
is what's been getting me through my Monday.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I feel you. I've ever since getting back from Asia, my bedtime's been like 6 p.m. I like need to adjust back to the time zone here.
Wait, so when did you get back from Asia?
I got back, oh my God, time is like a blur at this point. When did I get back? I got back like a week or two ago. So yeah. I think like 2 weeks ago. So I
Okay.
feel like I should be adjusted by now, but it really messes with your sleep schedule.
Dude, I went to Asia like back in like 2019, but I still remember this because I was there for almost a month, just solo traveling, and then coming back literally fucked me up. Like,
Oh yeah. So like going there, I was fine. I like adjusted completely. Like I was up at like 8 a.m. in bed by like 10 p.m. I was like, this is perfect. I have like a normal sleeping schedule now. And then I got back and I was just like, I guess this is also a normal sleeping schedule, which is good, but it's like hard to stay awake late at night.
Yeah, it's crazy with Asia too, because when we're going to bed, they're waking up,
Yeah,
right?
it's like it's like 12 hours, so it's like exactly inverted.
Yeah, I just learned that because I jumped on Red Note. Do you know what Red Note is?
Oh, I
Oh, you're
love
on
Red.
it.
I
Okay, yeah.
use Red Note more than I use TikTok.
I jumped on it and I was like, why is no one engaging with my posts? And then I was like, oh yeah, they're all sleeping right now.
Oh yeah, no, I didn't even think about that. Like posting hours, like you should probably
Yeah.
middle of the night. Yeah, no, the day TikTok was gone, I was like, I'm just gonna download Red Note. And I was on my flight back from Asia and I was just scrolling and I was like, I like this. There's just so many cute animal videos and like all the food videos. And now I just like that's where I doom scroll now.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I love it more than TikTok. It feels less toxic too.
Yeah, it's more just like vibes. It's more just like here's cute animals. Or at least my
Yeah.
algorithm. Like I feel like I accidentally made my TikTok algorithm. Like I'm just seeing like scary stuff. But like Red Note, it's like a fresh start. It's like, all right, I just want to see animals and cute food videos and like we're good.
Okay, that's funny you say that because my algorithm on Red Note is basically the same algorithm I had on TikTok because it's
Really?
all like Luigi Mangione content.
Oh my gosh,
And
no,
so
mine is literally just animals.
I need to get on your algorithm.
Mine is a lot of Mexicans and a lot of Mexican food because I'm Mexican myself.
Yeah.
On Red Note. Interesting,
Yeah.
Yessie.
So I'm like, how'd you know?
Yeah. That's
Like it's giving
actually,
me all these recipes for like
You're like the
Mexican
algorithm
dishes.
is definitely algorithming.
yeah.
Yeah.
And you said you downloaded that a couple weeks ago on your flight back, right?
Yeah, I was on my flight back from Asia and everyone's like, TikTok's gone. And I was like, well, I need to scroll somewhere. So, and I was on a flight for like 18 hours and I was like, all right, I need to scroll. So the whole flight, I was just like, cute animals, cute animals.
How was EDC Thailand?
It was so much fun. It was so amazing. Thailand's like one of those places I've always wanted to go to. So being able to go there for music was just like unbelievable. And the crowd was so good. It was so much fun. Like everything about that festival was just so cool. Cause I've been to EDC Orlando and EDC Vegas. So it was like crazy to go to an EDC where like the culture is just completely different. Like even just like the food and like everything was like, this feels so special.
Oh my
Mhm.
God. I love Thailand. It was in Phuket, right? The festival?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Oh, that's a
Phuket is like,
vacation destination.
Yeah. I was like, oh, I can like see the water.
yeah. And like, it's so cheap over there from what I remember. I haven't gone in
Yeah.
years, but literally you
Yeah.
could get like a
Everything's
honeymoon
so
suite for super
affordable.
cheap.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
love
It
that.
was. It was super cool, and like the whole team came, and like one of my managers came, so we all got to hang out there. It was so much fun.
What
Oh yeah.
what are some tips that you have for artists who are traveling? Because you just mentioned like that 18-hour flight, that is rough for everyone. But if
Oh
I
yeah.
had to do that and like prep a set or, be an artist, I feel like there's a different mindset that you have to be in.
Yeah, I feel like I always say this that like none of it feels like a job to me because it's like I'm doing what I love, what I want to do. It doesn't feel like a job. But the only time I ever feel like I'm clocking into work is when I get to the airport. The second I'm like traveling, I'm like, all right, clocking into work now. Like, and then everything else is like, this is fun. This is great. Like, I can't believe I get to do this.
Mhm.
But so it's definitely like, there's definitely a mindset into traveling where it's like, all right, like, this is the part where it's like you got to really just like focus and just like remember to pack well. Like I like to stay very very healthy on the road, so like I always pack like foods that I could bring in my suitcase with me. Like I bring like avocados and like rice
Oh,
cake
wow.
everywhere, and like so I can
Okay.
like make my own breakfast in the hotel because it's people don't realize how hard it is finding like just sustaining that kind of lifestyle of like, all right, you get back at 3 a.m. from the show and it's like, okay, there's no food open. So
Mhm.
it's definitely one of those things where it's just like trying to keep a healthy balance and just like find ways that you can make travel easier on you and like staying healthy. And like I don't like drink or like really like party or anything. So I feel like that definitely helps a lot with the flying. Cause I remember like when I used to drink, just like the thought of being hungover and getting on a plane is like
Dude.
Oh my,
I can't
that's
do
a
that.
death sentence.
Yeah. So I think just like finding ways to like stay healthy and make it feel more like home. Like when I get into my room, I really like to like set up. I'll like bring a stuffed animal with me and I'm like, all right, like I need to feel like I'm like at my workstation. And also, the biggest tip that I ever received about traveling, which I used to not do, is just like get sleep whenever you can. Because like you cannot always ensure that you're gonna be able to sleep. So like don't try to do the all-nighters or that kind of stuff. Like if you have a chance to sleep, take the sleep because it's gonna be so worth it at the show.
Yeah.
Is that why John is always recording you in the green room, sleeping on the couch?
Yeah, okay, I am a sleepy person.
I love those videos.
Like I feel like everyone's always like, oh, like I want to hang out with you, like it'd be so much fun. I'm like, it's actually not fun. Like I just sleep all day. Like if you come into my green room, I'm just like taking a little nap on the couch. Like I
love it. That would be me.
I'm a sleeper. I'm real sleepy. I get really sleepy before shows. And then like an hour before my set, I'm like, okay, I'm like hyped up now. And then after I'm like, I don't know how to sleep now. I'm so like, that was so much fun. I'm so energized. Now I have the zoomies. So
Yeah, that's a really good tip because I know a lot of people who are like, oh, I'm gonna just ride it out and I'll sleep, when I get to the hotel to try to overcome jet lag or whatever. But like you said, I mean, that's not always what happens.
no, and I've seen it with so many people too, like friends where they're like, it's like, you get back to the hotel at like 3 a.m. and then you have a flight at like 8 a.m. and they're like, I'm just gonna stay awake, like I'm just gonna stay awake until the flight. And then they end up missing the flight because they fall asleep during that like last hour before.
Yeah.
So it's like, no, like take the sleep when you can get it. But yeah,
Power naps.
Yeah, I like, yeah, and John makes fun of me too, the way I pack. Like my suitcase, I have like a collapsible, like a tea kettle, and like,
Oh wow.
I bring
love
so
that.
much with me. Like I literally try to make a full kitchen in my room.
Do you
this is
check
all
your bag?
I was about to say,
I
this is a check bag.
Okay, that's one of my other, if I could give anyone advice, like learn how to pack efficiently so that you never need to check a bag. I've seen so many people's bags get lost, they don't have their clothes, or like I've just like I have too much fear of losing my bag to like check a bag. So like I feel like it's taken me a few years to just learn how to pack really efficiently so that I don't have to check a bag. And it just like adds on time, and like I've just seen so much go wrong with it that I'm like, I need my things on me.
We need
my
a video
gosh.
from you of like what you all carry in your carry-on because I'm very curious,
Yeah.
especially the
No,
collapsible little kettle
It's
thing.
literally like if you open I'll make a video of it. If you open my suitcase, it literally just looks like a bodega. Like I have like 5 avocados and like rice cake.
Oh my
and
God,
I have,
how funny.
and I keep getting stopped at the airport.
Yeah.
I travel with like tahine and also everything seasoning. And every
Yes.
time we have to like swipe it. But I'm like, but I need all my seasonings. Like,
Can't get everything seasoning in Thailand.
no, exactly. So like I need to travel with all my food.
Especially
The
tahine.
avocados. That's
Yeah.
interesting. Because aren't you not supposed to bring like fruit and veggies around to other countries?
I don't do it if I'm doing international. International,
okay.
I won't bring avocados, but domestically. But it's my favorite thing. I wake up in the morning, I take out a rice cake, make an avocado toast, put some pomegranate seeds on it. Don't even, and it saves
Ooh.
money on like Uber Eats, and like, it just,
Mhm.
it makes it feel more like I'm like at home and not like ordering food for every meal.
Yeah, like your body's tricked a little bit that way.
Yeah,
your body and your mind.
I try to trick my body into thinking I'm home.
Yeah. Oh, that's fun. That's awesome.
No, I love that. Well, I want to switch gears to like your music and stuff. So we're really curious, like, how did you get the idea with the Sapphire Souls EP?
Yeah. So with the Sapphire Souls, I was just, before I put it out, I was working on so many songs for so long, and I knew I wanted to really put out like a body of work surrounding the tour coming up and just like tour off this body of work. And it took me a while to really like, I think I had a lot of whips of stuff I was working on, and I really just wanted to sit through them and just like pick the ones that I felt like all encompassed like every kind of song that I make. Like one that has like Alive kind of has like that like kind of like sad boy emo-y vocals on it, and
Yeah.
like I just really wanted to cover each corner of style that I do. And I feel like with Dark Side, I really wanted to bring back that like kind of like spooky, kind of like reference my old Scare the Dark EP and bring that style back. And it's like, I feel like with this body of work, I was really able to take one of kind of what I've been doing over the past few years and put it all together in like a new way. And, I collabed with Fastive, and that was so much fun, including that, because I love him. He's an amazing producer, and working on that collab, we just like, when we were working on it, we were like, this would fit. And I showed him my EP. We were like, this would fit so well with the rest of the body of work I have here. And it was so fun working on that one. And even that one dubstep song, like, I feel like all of them were they just felt like they went together. So making that was so much fun.
And it's nice that you got to tie it into a tour too. I feel like once artists get to a larger stage, that's really how it works, right? Like you kind of center some of these bigger tour announcements around albums or EPs. And it really is like, okay, this year we're pushing Sapphire Souls, or like, half this year we're going to do tour, we're going to do Sapphire Souls merch, release stuff. So how did you kind of like, does your team kind of guide that? Or do you say like, hey, I really want to do a tour with this EP next year? How does that kind of come together?
Yeah. So basically in my mind, every time I have a tour coming up or we're planning a tour and, we plan those really far in advance, like I think like a year in advance, we start, planning our tours and stuff. So I really knew that I wanted to have, a body of work to tour off of. And I feel like that is kind of, how it works. And it's just nice to be like, okay, like, here's my tour. Here's the songs that I want to represent this tour. So I feel like kind of what I was talking about like each song is like, all right, here's kind of like one corner of style of song I do. It's like, here are the highlights of what you're going to be getting on the tour. And it's like, here are all the different styles of songs you're going to be hearing in the tour. So I feel like it's really nice to have music that goes along with the tour, because it's kind of like, all right, like, here's the kind of stuff you're going to be hearing. And, you can even like VIP them and just find cool ways to present them in a new way on tour. And then, I have all these new unreleased songs on tour. So I think it just makes it really fun to have a body of work that goes with it. So it's like, if you're coming to see me, kind of what the style is, what the vibe is, and just really like paints a picture.
Yeah.
I really love how you're so like consistent with your branding. Like I can go on your Spotify discography and like the artwork and everything is just so like, I can literally look at it without your name being on the artwork and I'm like, yeah, that's Level Up. Like it's also consistent.
Thank you.
So like what advice would you give for artists who are struggling finding their niche and finding like their branding that fits with them?
Yeah. So I think one of the biggest things is really finding a way to take what you love and turn that into a brand. Like, I feel like if it's genuinely something you love and like your style, that will shine through more than anything. Like, rather than just being like, all right, I need a brand, let's pick a thing. It's like, all right, if you really think about what makes me, because, whenever someone asks me like, oh, like your brand, like how much of it is like actually you? I'm like, literally everything you're saying is just like, this is my style in real life and the things I love so much. Like all I do is like watch the Haunted Mansion and like listen to spooky songs. Like, so I think if you really like think about like, okay, what makes me me? What are the things I love? And finding out a way to paint a picture with that and being like, okay, like I love this style. I love tattoos. I love whatever you love and you feel like resonates with you, really just sitting down and being like, all right, let me think of like a picture. Let me think of like, I have my little character. I have my little, and I feel like it's really fun to build a world. So it's been a lot of fun building like my stuffed animal collection. Like I have like my little green bear and, those always start with just the drawings. And I have like my spider and my bunny and I have all these little characters. And I feel like really just thinking of like small little things that could combine into creating a whole world is really important. And it's like, I always tell people if they ask me about branding, like, all right, think about it this way. If someone says your artist name, what's the picture they think in their head? Like, what's the, like, with Rez, you think of the spiral or like, there's so many things. And it's like, you kind of want to be able to have that thing where if someone says your name or if someone sees just an image, they know that that's you. Because it's like, you do want to create a whole world. And for me, the art side is so important. Like I always say, Level Up is me, but it's also my artist. It's, it's everything, not just the music. So I think the art is super, super important.
Yeah. And it like all ties back into like what you were saying earlier about how when you're traveling, it doesn't feel like a job. It's your passion. So basically like, that's how it is for us with DUBSTEP FBI. It's like, agents, FBI HQ, and like we're arresting people, giving out citations, investigating, and like it's just so fun to build this world.
World.
Yeah, it doesn't feel like obviously there's pros and cons of like having your own brand, your own business. So, like there's things that you have to do, but it's just so fun being able to build on into this little world and like this little community that we built. And same for you. So it's just like it all ties back into like your passion and like what is it? Who are you?
Yeah, exactly. And if it's something you're so passionate about, you'll be so excited to create new things. Like every time, one of my favorite things is every time I finish a song being like, okay, I can't wait to like think of the art. And so many times too, I feel like I'm such a visual person. Like I was actually right before this call working on a new song. And when I was working on it, I like got this image in my head. And I feel like I always think in images in that way. Like, so I was working on this song and I was like, this song makes me feel like I'm like a monster driving, if that makes sense. I was like, I feel like I'm like picturing Frankenstein like on the freeway whipping it.
Yeah.
So I literally went on Pinterest and I was like spooky monster cars like driving, racing. And I was just like looking through these images and I had this Pinterest board up of just like all these like funny like Frankenstein like racing cars. And I just had that like up while I was working on the song. So I feel like for me, every time I work on a song, there is an image in my head. So right when it's done, I'm like, I know what the art is because I have this image of how it makes me feel.
Oh, I love that. It's almost like you did a reverse mood board. Like you had the mood board while you were producing.
No, I always do that. Like every time I'm making a song, I'm like, this feels like this. And then I pull up the mood board and then like just seeing that like inspires me more. So like, yeah, even with that, I was like, oh, I should add some cool like car sounds in the beginning or like some like tracks to make it sound like you're like on like a like carnival ride going through a haunted mansion. So it's like having a visual in my head when I'm making stuff, it just like that's how like my brain works when I'm producing.
Sounds like you just made a banger.
I hope so.
I'm like, damn, I want to hear this now.
We'll have to investigate.
Yeah.
Yes.
So if we see artwork coming out with this monster car, then we'll remember the interview.
Yes, that's the one that I made today.
And one more thing in the vein of the whole like releases and Spotify and all that. What was your first reaction when you found out you got the cover of Dubstep Dawn?
The scream that I scrumped. Like I literally my jaw was on the floor. I was in Asia when I found out, and it was like I woke up in the middle of the night at 4 a.m. and I wanted to like get up and eat some pistachios. I remember opening my phone and someone sent it to me, and I was like, I was blown away. I felt so honored. I was like, this feels like such like a heartwarming moment for me. Like I definitely didn't take it lightly. I was like, you shouldn't. This feels like a huge achievement. Just like seeing that is crazy to me because I always like put on those playlists or like just listen to those songs to find new music. So like being able to be on that was, I was blown away. I like woke up everyone. I was like, guys, look.
I would too. Shit.
And those
like, wake up.
Those are like usually surprises, right? Because Create will pitch it and they'll be like, okay,
no, I had no idea.
Yeah, and then you don't know till it drops.
Yeah, it wasn't the kind of thing where like they emailed me. They're like, "Hey, we're gonna put you on the like." No, it was just like, "Boom, you're on the cover," and I was like, "Oh my god!" Like, and even my team messaged me. They were like, "Oh my god, look at this!" So yeah, it is one of those things where it's like I didn't know until I saw it, and it was, that felt like a huge like achievement for me.
That's like the biggest cosign you can get from Spotify.
Oh yeah, I was like, this is an honor, especially because there's so many talented producers like in like if you're even just looking at the songs, there's so many talented people. So to be able to like have my face on that is just, it's crazy.
Yeah, very well deserved. That's awesome.
Thank you.
Yeah, I can't even imagine that feeling at all. Especially in another country.
Yeah, we manage artists, and Thrasha, who you met, she made it on Dubstep Dawn a couple months ago, and we were like, oh my god,
literally, it's just so exciting. It's like oh my gosh, like they're seeing my work, like people are seeing my work. Also, she's amazing.
Shout out Thrasha.
Shout out our girl Cheyenne. We love her.
Yes.
Shout out to badass women in the dubstep industry.
Yes, all of them.
Yep.
Speaking of badass women, are there any who you think are killing it right now that deserve more recognition?
Yeah. Oh my gosh. It would take me like a bazillion hours to name all of them. There's so many, it's really awesome seeing like Zingara and Alley Cat and like Skeleton and Jeannie, who's doing all like the girl gang stuff, and just like there's so many females crushing it and doing so good, and I just want to like hug every single one of them and be like, you guys are all amazing. And it just like it's so amazing to see so many women like get the recognition they deserve, but also like there's so many women who should get more recognition. I can't say that word. You know
Recognition. Yes.
Recognition. Yes. But
It's past your bedtime, by the way.
it's past my bedtime, but no, it's really awesome to see so many amazing, talented female producers just like doing so well and doing stuff in such a male dominated scene, you know?
And speaking of Alley Cat, you're going back to back with her in May, June, like end of May at
Yes.
Project Flow. Yeah, are you
Yes.
excited?
I am so excited for that. I've hung out with her so many times. She's so sweet. She's so awesome. I love what she's doing. So I feel like our back-to-back's just going to be a lot of fun. I feel like if there was a word to describe it, it'd be like just fun. Like I feel like our energy together is just going to be wild.
Yeah, Project Glow. I've never been to that festival. I don't hear too much about it. Where is it?
Where is it? Yeah.
Where is it?
Let's look it up.
Google, where are you?
Let's see. RFK Festival Grounds. DC? Yeah, DC. Yeah.
Also, how do you go like about keeping up with your itinerary? Is it just like, oh, what am I doing tomorrow? Okay, I'm flying here tomorrow. And then you just go by the day.
So I'm the worst at knowing where I'm going to be. Like my brain just like can't think about the next day. Like every day I'm like, all right, this is what I'm doing today. But no, like if anyone asks me like, oh, where are you going to be next week? I'm like, let me really think about that. Because I feel like with like the schedule of, just like getting off planes and like I never know what day it is. So, I mean, I have a calendar, with all of my dates and stuff. But like the funny thing is, whenever someone asks me where I'm going to be, I honestly just pull up my tour flyer. Like I have a calendar, but I'm like, let me just pull up my flyer.
Yeah.
So like every week I'm like looking at my flyer being like, all right, awesome. Like this is where I'm going. This is where I'm going. This is where I'm going. So
do you book your own flights? Does your team book your flights?
So my team books my flights. So it's literally like, I had this thought the other day where I opened my phone. Let me pull it up. I opened my phone and there was like one flight and then it just like looks like this at all times.
Oh.
It's just a constant like brick. So like it is surprising sometimes. I'll open up like, my flight app and it's like 20 upcoming flights. And I'm like, whoa. So I just
Do you use
scroll through
Flighty?
all them. What?
Do you use Flighty?
Flighty? Is that the app where it tracks? That's what it's called.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
It's a lifesaver.
I've seen so many people post like, this is how many hours I've flown and stuff over the years. And I forgot, I was asking someone recently, like, oh, what's that app called? Because, I fly so much, I want to keep track. And I'm writing that down right now.
Do it. It does
Like-
cost. It's like $50 a year, but it's worth it, honestly.
Yeah, I want to do that. I want to track how many hours.
Yeah. And then the other question that I was going to ask is, do you ever like schedule in time for vacay? Like, so a year from now, like you'll be like, okay, a year from now, please don't schedule any shows during this date. Like, how does your personal time work with that crazy schedule?
Yeah, honestly. So I don't really I'm never really like, hey, can you like leave this time open unless, there's obviously like a wedding I'm going to or like a family event or something really important. But I pretty much like playing shows and doing all this is my main focus. So it's really like I work around my schedule. And if I ever really want to take time off, because, when I'm at home, I'm like, my relaxing is also working on music. So if I really want to like get away, usually what I do is what me and Jesse do together is if we have like a show in like EDC Thailand or like somewhere international and cool, we'll be like, okay, let's fly in a few days early and be able to like really see this area. So, if we have shows in like Japan, it was really fun to be like, all right, let's go like 2 days early and my family will come out and we'll hang out in Japan for a little bit. So it's usually if we have a show in a really cool place, I'll be like, let's go a few days early and just like check it out while we're already here.
That is a perk of being an internationally touring artist. You get to see new countries.
No, I feel like anytime I play a show internationally, I'm just like the most excited ever. I'm like, I get to see a cool place. Like I get to explore. Like I love exploring and just like seeing new cultures and stuff. So Yeah, I'm definitely the kind of person wherever we go somewhere cool, I'm I want to see the area.
Yeah.
Is there
Definitely
like an
worth it.
international festival that is like your top favorite that you've ever played?
Favorite. Honestly, I think EDC Thailand might really be up there. Like
Wow.
that was so much fun. Um, I played a festival in Lake Como. That was
Nameless.
insane.
Nameless, right?
Nameless Festival in Lake Como was honestly, I think it might have been one of the best crowds I've ever played for in my entire career. Like that festival was insane. Oh my gosh, yeah.
That
That
festival's
one was
wild.
also
Mhm.
Rampage, like
Rampage.
Rampage. You know, the first time I ever went to Rampage, me and my whole friend group, we went on vacation like in that area, not even realizing Rampage was happening at the same time. So my first time going, I just like happened to be there and I went and it was so much fun. So then going back and playing was so fun. And it's just like it's so cool playing to like crowds in different places and seeing like what works there and what doesn't and how it's different than the crowds here.
Yeah, the Rampage open air crowd last summer was amazing.
Oh
So
yeah.
friendly. Like it felt like
Rampage
a
crowd, they're
community.
so nice.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everyone's so nice and they like the crowd's so good and they have bumper cars,
Bumper skate park.
They have
bumper
Really
cars,
good
everything.
food.
amazing food.
Yeah.
Like Belgian waffles, like
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
America can never.
no, not
Oh my
they can't
God.
nail the waffles the way that that Rampage can.
Also, they had like a
Waffle.
breathalyzer there, which I thought was pretty cool.
Oh
Really?
yeah.
I didn't
Yeah.
see
You
that.
like grab like a straw and then you like blew into it and then it would just tell you like your percentage of like alcohol
That's
that you have
really
in you.
funny.
And it would tell you
Mhm.
like if you're driving, you're not
Allowed.
able to drive at all. Like don't even
That's
think
good.
about
That's
it.
good. Please give them the warnings.
We
Yeah.
need that at
Even
every
at the bumper
festival.
cars.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That too.
bumper cars. You got to take a breathalyzer before you drive the bumper car.
Literally. Well, we got quite a few submitted questions from some fans. We're not going to be able to get through all of them, but we selected a few that we were curious about. So, IG Red Boy is wondering, what is your favorite back-to-back you've ever done?
Oh, it's so hard to pick favorites because like every back to back I've done has been so fun in different ways. But I will say the EDC one with Jesse is definitely a very standout one for me because EDC is just like one of my it was one of my all-time favorites. Like that's the festival I used to go to like before I started making music and like that was like my goal festival and it was our first time ever playing together and there's just like we just get each other so well that I think we always say this that we're the easiest people to back with each other because we both DJ the same exact way. We both do like a lot of doubles and we mix really fast and we're like really in sync with like, all right, get out of my way. Okay, I need these two, I need these four, I need these three, like zoom, 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 zoom. And so it's really just like it just works so well and it's so easy.
I love
Yeah.
that. Oh my God, that set was fire. I watched the live stream. I didn't get to go to EDC, but wow. The
Thank you. Yeah, that
Leveltronics,
one
we need more.
Yeah, that
Mhm.
one was so fun. And it's cool just going back to back with someone that like you know their music, they know your music, and it's just like easy. It's like
Yeah.
felt like a puzzle that fit together.
Were you
Exactly.
nervous before that?
I was really nervous. I feel like EDC is just one of those ones that like I'll always be nervous because like I
Yeah.
always said EDC was my like that's my dream festival to play. So it's like that one I'm always just freaking out before. But I
Yeah.
was more nervous in that sense, but I was really excited for the back to back because you know we made so many songs together beforehand and we like put so much work into it that I was just like I can't wait for like people to hear this. Like I'm so
Mhm.
excited for it.
Yeah. And like shout out to your team too, because they're the ones who make sure like the pyro and all of the production is on point. So hopefully it helps calm your nerves knowing that you have such a good team behind you.
Oh yeah, my team, they are amazing and they manage my entire life and I don't know
Yeah.
what I would do without them.
Family.
Yeah. And
Yeah,
also
they
shout
are
out
Yeah.
John for the visuals because he always kills it. And
Oh,
he's
yeah,
just such a good guy too.
Yeah.
I know he does great. And also Veronica, my artist Veronica, she makes the visuals and then
Ooh.
John VJs them and just like them together is like insane. And you know, John travels with me and you know, every single person that like works on my project and works with me is like I owe my life to them.
Aw. Love that.
I love that. Yeah. And I love how you're always giving credit where credit is due. Like that's what we always tell people. It's like there's so much happening behind the scenes. Literally just shouting out the photographer or something, like
Yeah.
just for one shot, like just giving them a little shout out or saying thank you goes a long way.
That's the thing too that I feel like people don't always think about or initially see is like when you're seeing an artist, it's not just them. There's so much that goes into it. Like, yeah, when you're looking at their videos, okay, well, someone taking that photo and someone taking that video, that's their art. Like that's their art form. Like just the same way that like making music is my art form, or like who creates the visuals, like that's their art. There's so much art from so many artists going into one project that it's like behind every artist is like it's a whole team of artists to make, what Love is or what any artist is. It really is a whole team.
Literally. And like
thought put behind
advancing.
everything.
There's just so much that goes behind the scenes, like advancing,
gosh.
getting you to the festival, the writer, like
Oh yeah, making sure we get there, like making sure everything's ready and set up, and like making sure I have flights, and just there's so much work that everyone puts in.
It takes a village, honestly.
Truly, it really does.
Tegan Weens is wondering if you could give one piece of advice for an upcoming producer, what would it be?
I think the biggest advice I would give is to not get too comfortable at what you're good at and just keep practicing on what you're bad at, because if you focus too much at what you're good at, you can, like I've even in the past had times where I'm like, all right, I've made this one song and it's great. Let me make more that sounds just like it. But it's like you really want to branch out and take time to just sit and just write a bunch of bad stuff. Like not everything you write needs to be good. You can make 50 bad songs before there's one good one. So just focus and learn what you're bad at, because that way you'll never be bad at anything if you only focus at what you're not strong at.
Yeah, don't be scared to write things that you're uncomfortable with. I think.
Yeah.
And also remembering that not everything you write has to come out.
That's the thing I struggle with too. And I keep reminding myself and telling everyone is like, you're not going to sit down and write a releasable song every single time. Like I'll write 10 songs that I'm not happy with until I get one that I'm like, I want people to hear this one. And like, or even like when I'm really stuck on like a dubstep song, I'll sit down and be like, all right, let me make a trap song. Let me make a house song. Let me just like,
yes,
like you can think of making songs as like, this is practice. I'm going to learn something new just from the practice of making this. Not everything needs to be, all right, I need to make this for it to be heard by people.
That's fantastic advice. We're going to have
love
to share that with our artists.
Love that. Parker 303, what inspired you to start making music?
Yeah, so I've always been really interested in music. When I was younger, I was in an orchestra. I used to play the cello.
wow.
Always loved music. And like ever since I was little, I knew I always wanted to do something with music. I used to do like musical theater and all this kind of stuff, but I'm a terrible singer. Like I cannot sing for my life. So I remember when I was younger, I was like, well, I'm never going to have a music career. Like I can't sing. And then, so that's why I started learning instruments originally. But once I started really like falling in love with EDM and listening to EDM, I was like, oh my God, wait, this is so cool. Like one person can make an entire song. Like you could really just like, and that blew my mind. Cause like after like playing instruments and being orchestras, I was like, no, I want to like create something more and like just yeah. So after listening to EDM for years, I was like, this is my passion. This is what I love. I want to make what I love listening to.
Did you start making dubstep, or like what did you start with?
Yeah, so when I started first started off as first started DJing, and I was DJing more like hip hop and like break beats and that kind of stuff, but still listening to EDM. And then once I started producing EDM, the funny thing is people always ask me like, why did you like, who's the artist that inspired you to produce? And I always say Porter Robinson. And they're like, your music sounds nothing, like you don't even make that genre. And I'm like, I know, but it's just like the feeling I got when listening to Porter Robinson is like the feeling that I want to give other people of just like, oh my God, like I just like, it puts me in my happy place.
God.
Yeah, but so when I first started producing, I was honestly making a lot of just like 140 stuff, just like way like deeper. I was making like trap. I learned how to make like bass house, and like it was really just I kind of made all kind of genres while learning how to make music before I really developed into like my own sound and like the kind of dubstep I make now.
Mm-hmm. And you made a really interesting point about how EDM producers have the opportunity to make any kind of genre.
Yeah.
Like that, I was really impressed because earlier this week, Sweet Tooth, he sent me a whip that he was working on, and it's like his vocals are on it. It's like an emo type song. So
Yeah.
his vocals are on it. He did the drums, he did the electric guitar. Like it's just cool to think about how you can, yeah, make any genre just using your computer. And that's how you can
Yeah.
also express yourself.
And yeah, it's really the coolest thing that it's like you could just create a whole world just in like one DAW, and you can really make even
Yes.
any genre. Like even most of my unreleased songs right now, it's like people would be very surprised if I was like, this is what I'm working on, because I have like a UKG song, I have like a techno song, I have a house song. Like
Ooh.
I always just like I've been really just like, all right, like I want to like push myself and just like learn new techniques.
Mhm.
And so I've just been making a bunch of genres and seeing what I can learn. Or even like I remember my collab with Fastive, he was like, okay, like, you know, we have 2 drops, like let's make a third drop. Do you have any ideas? And I was like, you know what? I'm gonna learn how to make hard techno for this. So I remember I sat down, I like watched a bunch of YouTube tutorials. I was like, let's freaking do this. So I was like, all right, we're going hard techno. And I just, you know, was like, let's do it. New genre. This will be fun.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's cool. You mentioned YouTube because we are big advocates of YouTube University. Obviously,
Oh, yeah.
we use it like we taught ourselves, you know, Yessie taught herself Adobe Premiere. I taught myself Adobe Illustrator. And without YouTube, I don't know if I would be that
Yeah.
skilled at it.
No, YouTube is how I learned everything. It's how I learned Ableton. And I still like, that's the thing is like, no matter where you get in your career, you're always learning. Like, I feel like I'll never stop learning, and I'll always try to learn more because you're never really done learning. There's so much to learn. So, like, in my free time, even like at the hotel the other night, I was like, I have a few hours to kill. Like, you know what I'm going to do? I'm just going to sit here and I'm just going to, like, while I'm laying in bed, I'm just going to watch YouTube videos of like, how to make this genre, how to make that, how to make this sound better. So it's like really, if I'm ever stuck or if I ever have free time, I'm just watching YouTube videos of how to get better. Like there's always tricks and there's always things you can learn more from the internet. So YouTube is a great tool.
It's a great tool. And also your network. Like go out and meet people. Don't be the smartest person in the room. We always tell our friends that because people are always asking for advice. Like, how do we build up Sapphire FBI to where it is? And like, just don't get comfortable. Like you said, learn something new every day. Be 1% better every day.
Surround yourself by people who want to push you, or even like, I've had times where like I'll be like scared to send my songs to people because I'm like, they're really good. Like I'm scared to send it. And then I do. And then they'll give me really insightful feedback. And I'm like, okay, I'm happy I sent it to them. I'm happy I like pushed myself to like do scary things.
And to your point, one of the biggest pieces of feedback that we give is to remain coachable. Like it ties in with what you just said about sending it to the bigger artists and seeking feedback and always understanding that you do have more to learn and that you'll never know 100% of what there is out there. And so just being really receptive to like, hey, you should tweak this or like maybe think about it in this light. That's really how you grow, at least from what I've seen.
I feel like it's, especially kind of just like dropping your ego and letting other people's voices come in and be like, okay, like not getting to a point where you're like, I know everything and now I'm done. It's like, no, like everyone is still learning. Like you need to be open to learning new things in order to, you know, like push yourself further.
Yeah. Amen.
Staying in your lane too. Don't be like comparing yourself to other people.
That's hard.
That's a big one too.
Yeah.
That's definitely one where it's like you can't get too caught up on like what other people are doing, because at the end of the day, it's art. You can't compare art. Like art is just art is going to be different to everyone. It's going to be viewed by everyone differently. And it's like, if you're just making art to make art, you got to just focus on your own.
It's hard with social media too, especially like, you know, I'll see like an artist will announce a song that means a lot to them and like it won't get as much engagement as they were hoping. And so it's really hard to not get discouraged. Like if you don't get the reception that you want to something in this funnel bubble that we do call social media, but it's hard not to like seek that validation sometimes.
Yeah, definitely. It's hard. Yeah, it's definitely hard not to like check the numbers or be like, okay, like Like, you know, if I have a song that I'm like, I think this one's gonna do really well, like I'm super excited about this one, and it's not the one that does super well. And that's the thing too, like there's so many times where you'll put out like an EP and you'll think you know which ones are gonna do better or not, and then they don't. So it's kind of just like not getting too caught up on like why did not this one not do as well as I thought it was going to, or even like posting something and be like, why does this one not reach? And it's just like it's distracting to have those outside like doubts and stuff. But I think, yeah, it's important to not let it get to you and just keep focusing on doing more in the future.
Yes, show up every day, even if you had a day yesterday where you thought you underperformed. Show up today and negate it out, you know? I'm reading a book called Atomic Habits, and I'm actually rereading it because it's one of my favorite books ever. And they say, you know, you should at least just try to do 5 minutes of the thing that you're trying to get better at, right? Like just go to the gym, do 5 minutes. And most times you're going to do more just because you've already started it. So it's like the act of like pushing the snowball down the mountain, like just starting it. And then that gets it rolling. And then you can actually grow with that.
Yeah, that's really good. That. And that's the thing too, kind of like what I was saying. It's like, you don't need to sit down and write a banger. Just sit down and do something. Like if you're just working on your craft, it doesn't matter if you make something good. It doesn't matter if nothing comes out of it. If you're just like using your tool set and working those muscles, it's beneficial. Even if like, and I'll have days where it's like, all right, I've gone 3 days where like I keep trying to make songs and like nothing's good's coming out of it. And I'm like, I'm never going to make a good song ever again. Like that was it for me. Like I'm done. And it's like, writer's block is so real. And it's like, as long as you're still working through it and trying, you're fine. Like good stuff will come again. Like you're working your muscles, you're working on your craft. It's going to be okay.
Yeah.
Or, you know,
just got to show up.
Yeah. Yeah. Even then, because burnout is real too. So it's like learning to just take one day off or something, go out for a walk, or just do something to clear your head, journal, something to just clear your head, clear your mindset. So that way you're not just focusing so much on like, oh my God, I've been trying to write a song for like the past 3 days. Oh, I'll do it tomorrow. Oh my God. Okay. I'll do it tomorrow. Oh, I'll do it tomorrow. And you're just like constantly like, just don't do that. Don't do that.
Yeah.
Just take a day off.
I think there's a balance of finding the line of like pushing yourself to work and then also being like, I need a break. Because sometimes too, like I'll step away for a day or two and then I'll come back with so many new ideas. Or like if I'm ever really struggling, I'm like, okay, time to go on a walk in the woods. We're going now. And I'll come back and be like, that was like a bath for my brain.
Yes. Oh, I love baths. Okay, 2 more of these submitted questions, and then we'll get to the lightning round. I know this has been kind of long, so thank you for sticking with us. IG Red Boy is wondering if you ever thought about a different career before this.
Yes, actually. I mean, I've always loved music, and I've always wanted to do stuff with music. But when I started DJing, I fully saw this, even when I started producing, this was a hobby for me. This was not something I was trying to pursue professionally at all. I grew up my whole life like as a theater kid. I grew up my whole life acting. So I went to like acting college. I spent my entire life acting.
Oh, wow.
So that was my goal. My goal was, to keep acting and doing that. And, I loved going to festivals and going to shows. So like on the side when I wasn't like going on auditions or like in plays or like, acting in some sense, I was just like, I bought a little controller and I was like practicing my room and I'd learn how to make music. But it was never like, okay, this is going to be my career. It was, I want to continue acting, but this is a fun little side thing. Mm-hmm. And then I just fell more and more in love with it until the point that I realized that I was having more fun doing that than I was acting. And it was kind of like a mental hurdle too, to like switch over to like the mindset of like kind of it becoming a career, because it felt like I was giving up something else that I worked my whole life for. But at the same time, I feel like having an acting background, I use so much of that in what I do now. Like I love performing. I've always performed my entire life. Ever since I could speak, I was on a stage performing. And like with the art and everything, it kind of just feels like I have both my passions now like mushed into one.
That's so sick. No, who would have thought? I never would have thought that you were an actress before.
And my family always says the opposite. My family's always like, who would have thought you'd be a DJ? Like, who would have thought? And I was like, this is not, this was never like something I thought, like it was just a hobby. It was like, this is
Mm-hmm.
what I'd love to do. And then I just, started getting more shows and I was like taking it really seriously until I realized like, wait, no, this is what I want to spend all of my time doing.
Mm-hmm. You committed to it, and it was
Yeah.
kind of like you got addicted to it, it sounds like.
Yeah. No, it was. I was like, oh, I really need to like rehearse for the show, but I
Yeah.
really want to make dubstep.
You know
Did your
what?
family think you were crazy at first when you were like, I'm gonna be a dubstep DJ?
Yes, they were kind of like, they were kind of just like, they didn't understand. They were like, how do people dance to it? Like, I don't get it. And they came to a few of my shows when I was like a local, and like at my school, I was in an acting program with like 20 kids, and they always joked about how I was like the DJ in the acting program, and like they'd ask me to like DJ their events, and like it was just always like this running joke of like me being a DJ on the side. But my family's like very supportive now, and they've always been
Yeah.
very supportive, but they were definitely like, a DJ? Like what? Like what do you do? Like what is
Yeah.
this music? How do they
They're like,
dance? I was
"That's
like,
not a
mosh
career."
pits, mosh pits.
No, literally, that's how my family is too. Like, obviously, when we did like our first merch drop and everything, like my family was quick to like buy the long sleeves and everything that we dropped in our first ever launch. So they've always been supportive, but they're always kind of like, they don't get it. They're like,
Yeah.
how do people dance to this? And there's been moments where I'm like, hey, mom, dad, there's a show in San Diego because that's where they live. Like, do you guys want to come with me? Like, you guys want to check out my world? And then they're like, I think I'm gonna protect my eardrums from that.
Yeah. Yeah. Or even my family, I remember my grandparents were in New York, and I used to be, local in New York. And I was like, it was on a Sullivan King show. I was like first up, like the local DJ there, and my grandma and my grandpa came in a tiny, tiny little room, and they were so scared. They were so
Grandma.
confused and so scared. And then, they live in LA. And so I think one of the first like kind of bigger shows they came out, I played at the Hollywood Palladium, and they came out to it and they were like, oh, this is like a real like show. And then they came to like a festival in LA, and they were like,
wow.
oh my God, this is like, they were like,
This
all
is
those
legit.
people, they're watching you play? I'm like, yeah.
Yeah, Grandma, I made it. That's so sweet that your grandparents are involved too.
Oh yeah. Yeah. My
I love
grandparents
that.
love seeing all this stuff. They'll like, my grandma calls me like every weekend. She's like, where are you two this weekend? Like, how are the
Yes.
shows?
Your biggest supporter, baby.
Yeah.
That's
Nice.
amazing. Okay, one more over here from Spicy Pickle 17. I do not like pickles.
I love pickles.
I don't. Sorry, Spicy Pickles. So Spicy Pickles wants to know, pineapple on pizza, yes or no?
Yes. I like, yes,
not
I
bad.
love it. I do it and I love it.
It's pretty
It's-
good. Sweet and savory.
It's good. It's good. Like with ranch too.
Oh, ranch.
Yeah. I
So you know
both-
you're an American.
I know both are bad. I know both are like bad. Like don't tell the Italians, but
Yeah, right.
I love it.
We're
That's
sending
not
this.
authentica.
Yeah, we're gonna send this video to all the Italians right after
The
this.
nameless
I'm like,
festival team.
Yeah, I was gonna say don't let them see it. I'll never get booked there
Yeah.
again.
Blacklisted. No.
No, but imagine if they booked you and they actually brought you pizza with pineapple.
Pineapple? I would
Imagine.
love that.
Goated move.
All right, we're going to move to our lightning round. So I don't know if you've seen our videos or have seen us, like, we just spit questions and just answer them as quick as you can. Usually they never end up being quick, but you get it.
I will try my hardest.
They're rigged.
It's rigged.
Yeah.
All right, first one is, what are your favorite songs to play live right now?
Oh, my current favorite song to play live of mine is that one dubstep song, because it's just so fun hearing everyone sing the like womp 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 womp. So like that's the one I'm looking forward to the whole set playing it live.
Yes. Got a whole tour ahead
Yeah.
of that.
Oh yeah.
Do you have any superstitions?
Superstitions. Oh, I don't know about superstitions, but I'm afraid of everything. I'm like legitimately scared of the dark. I'm like actually so terrified of the dark. Like when I'm in my hotel room, I like keep the lights like a little bit on, and I have night lights. So I don't know if there's like superstitions, but more I'm just like scared of everything, or I'm always scared in haunted venues. I'm like the ghosts are they're gonna get me. They're gonna be mad I'm here, and
Mm-hmm.
they're gonna mess something up. So I guess my superstition is ghosts in old venues.
There we go.
And that's wild because literally, like, I feel like your branding is surrounded by that.
No, it's so funny because it's
Yeah.
like I love it, but I'm so scared of it. Like all I love is like I love paranormal stuff. I love spooky stuff, but I always say I'm a spooky person. I'm not a horror person, if that makes sense.
There's a
Like,
difference.
I
There's a
love
difference, yeah.
Disney spooky. I love like cute ghosts. I love Casper, but like if you want me to watch like a horror movie, like I don't know, I might cry.
They're
Like
getting scarier and scarier
they're
nowadays
getting
too.
scary.
Like the
So it's like
psycho thrillers.
yeah, I feel like there's like a spectrum of like spooky to like straight up horror, and I'm
Yeah.
like in the middle.
Yeah.
I'm like
Yeah, no thanks.
I like cute horror. I like cute ghosts.
There you go.
I like
That's
the
who you
friendly
are.
ones.
And then getting high too and watching those, the best.
Yes. Halloween
just,
is
like-
in 9 months.
Oh, I'm ready for see that's my thing. Like the ghosts and Halloween and like
Mhm. Decorations.
but if
Yeah.
you want me to watch like The Conjuring, like I don't know if I can. Like
Oh my God,
I've
Blair
been
Witch
traumatized by that
Project.
movie. I don't know. And like I live in the woods. So like any
Yeah.
movie that's horror in the woods, like I'm just never gonna sleep again.
Don't plant the seed.
Yeah. Can't
Nope.
think about it. I'm just gonna watch The Haunted Mansion over and over again.
There you go. We approve of that.
All right, best fast food.
In and out.
Thank you. Wow. Finally, someone says In and Out. That is literally my go-to.
It's my favorite. And I live in Philly, so like there's no In and Out here, but I love it.
Did you
You're
get
always
any?
craving it.
Did you get any when you were in Denver?
What? They have In and Out in Denver?
Dude, yeah. That's like that's my
What?
my religion. Literally, like
Mhm.
I travel a lot for work for my full-time job, and every time I come back from the airport, there's an In-N-Out 5 minutes from me, and I always go there on the way home. Always.
Oh my God, well now I know.
Mhm.
Now I'm
It's in
gonna get it
Lakewood.
next time I'm in Denver.
Yeah. You should.
Yeah, and it's expanding. Like they're building locations left and right. They built one
Yeah.
right 5 minutes from my office. I'm
my
like,
God.
that's
I
even
always-
more dangerous.
I always just get the one when I land in LA near LAX.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, now you know
Love
for
it.
Denver.
Now I know.
Mhm. Hard to beat animal fries. I will say that.
I know. I really love it.
Where do you think is the real base capital of the world?
Of the world?
Yeah.
You're getting put on the spot here.
Oh, that's hard. I feel like there's gonna be like pitchforks coming for me if I say
Right?
it.
We all know who gets mad when they don't get picked.
Canada.
Cough, cough. No. Montreal.
I'd say there's definitely like top 5. Like Denver, of course, is one. Montreal. Montreal's
Mhm.
insane. Japan goes insane. So like
Oh.
something about Japan is crazy there. Definitely lots of places in Canada. There's a few. There's
Yeah.
a few really, really. We need to like put them in a boxing ring together.
Yeah. I mean, Belgium. Belgium and
Belgium
France.
too. Yeah,
Yeah.
there's so many. Like it's trying to like I feel like it's trying to pick a favorite child. I'm like, I don't know. I love them all.
Yeah. You can't say it out loud.
Have you played in China though?
I
Here
have
they go
not.
hard.
I was supposed to play in EDC China, but then there was a typhoon, so it got canceled.
Last year, right?
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
right. Oh my God. I remember that. Wow.
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah.
You got stuck there, didn't you?
I actually no, I didn't. We had a show in Japan the night before, so we were in Japan. So we found out the day we were supposed to fly to China that it got canceled. So we just stayed in Japan an extra day and then flew home, which was
Yeah.
convenient because we know some friends who flew to China and then immediately had to just fly back home. Which
Yeah.
that's
Wooly.
no.
That happened to
Yeah,
Wooly.
yeah,
I saw
that's who I
that.
was talking about. He
Yeah.
flew all the way to China, landed, found out it was canceled, and the same day just got on a flight back home.
That's a bummer.
I was like, just come to Japan. It's
Yeah,
fine
right?
here.
Damn. We're hoping to go to China towards the end of the year. We're working with a promoter in Guangzhou.
That
Reunion.
sounds really sick.
Yeah, we're hoping to do like a little rhythm takeover.
Yes, yeah. I hope to go there. I've been to Hong Kong, which was really
Okay.
but yeah, I'd love
Go
to play
there.
a show in China.
Ooh,
Yeah.
shout out Cielo. She actually
Mhm.
she just dropped a Riot Control radio mix and she's from
Yes.
Hong Kong.
Yes.
She is awesome. I love her. I've met her a few times.
Yeah,
Yeah.
very sweet, very talented.
All right. See what I meant about the lightning round? We're always just, me especially, I get so sidetracked and I just want to talk about anything and everything. So, do you prefer to play festivals or venue sets?
Oh, it switches. It really switches back and forth because by the end of festival season, I'm like, I want the small clubs. And by the end of small clubs, I'm like, I can't wait for like the summer festivals. So it switches back and forth, but there's something amazing about just like a small venue where I get to see everyone's face. And that will always, I think, be my favorite is just like those small rooms.
Where the underground thrives.
Yeah.
What is your pre-show routine?
My pre-show routine. I watch an episode of Love Island and eat an avocado.
Love Island. Let's
Love
go.
Island.
Oh my God, that show is hilarious.
I know, I'm addicted. I'm an addict.
And the avocado. So yeah, we know what to get on your rider for you.
That is on my rider. I do have avocados on my rider.
Yeah.
And a
can't go
nice
wrong.
couch for you to take a nap.
Mhm.
I
Yeah.
love a good green room couch.
There you go.
Dude.
Naps and avocados. That's level up, folks.
That's me to like to a T.
Easy enough. Well, I guess you already said what's on your rider. That was going to be the next question.
Yeah, my riders, like I said, I try to stay pretty healthy and good on tour. So my rider is 2 avocados, carrots, blueberries, rice cakes, water. I think, and hummus. Yeah.
So much healthier than a lot of the riders that we see. Most of the riders are girl dinner, which is tequila.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And White Claws and Red Bull. Do you
So
ever
bad.
do they ever bring you avocados that aren't ripe?
You know, I've been very surprised that they've been really ripe because it's hard. Like it's hard finding a
yeah.
good avocado. So like every time they've been perfect, and I'm like, wow, you guys are really nailing this.
Whoever they sent to go get the rider did their job.
They're doing a good job of picking like a good, like ready to eat avocado.
That's great.
They understood the
Let's keep it
assignment.
that way. Mhm.
Oh yeah.
Okay, last question for you. Who has been your biggest music mentor?
Oh, biggest music mentor. I feel like there's not even like one specific person, but I feel like it's more just like a community of friends that all help each other. Like even especially like me, Jesse, and Wooly have like a group chat where we all send our whips and like share it with each other. And like I feel like just like there's so many, I'm in so many group chats, like on Twitter and stuff, of just a bunch of artists where they all just send their music and share it with each other and like give feedback. So I feel like it's really more just like a community of mentors. And it's just like everyone you're friends with, like helping each other, if that makes sense. Like just like big group chats of like, what do you think of this song? What do you think of this kick? What do you think of this snare? And everyone pitching in and saying what they think.
Mm-hmm. Gotta have that support network.
Yeah, definitely. It's awesome to like be friends with people, you know, in the scene who make music, and everyone could just give feedback on everything and just listen to each other's songs. So it's really just like the community as a whole has been my mentor. Like everyone in dubstep and other genres too have been so nice and uplifting and amazing.
Yeah. And it's just nice too to like, yeah, like Chrissy said, like have that community and be collaborating and not feeling like it's competition and all of that. Because the top dogs are the ones collaborating, not competing.
Oh yeah. Yeah. And even like when me and Vasa working on a song, I was like, yo, like check out the rest of the EP. Like let me know if you have thoughts. Like what do you think about this? Like it's really nice to just like work with people and like listen to each other's music. And we always have like, you know, like this drop should go here, like fun ideas for each other. And so it's really nice being able to have like friends and stuff that you can just like talk music with.
Mm-hmm. Do you lean on them for like mental health support too? Or if you're ever feeling down and need like a pick me up?
Yeah, it's definitely nice having like people you can talk to and like who relate to what you're doing. And you know, like if there's like someone says something mean on the internet, you can like talk to them and they understand. So it's nice having friends. I think my biggest friend group would be Wooly and Jesse, where we just have a little group chat where we're like, did you see this mean thing? And they're like, it's fine.
People are so mean on the internet. I swear.
Unnecessary.
Like it's so unnecessary.
Yeah, it's nice having, and all the girls too, like it's so nice having like a bunch of other female producers, and like I feel like we're all friends and we all have like group chats and we all support each other and we all like each other's music, and it's like it's nice having a community of like all the females coming together and being like, let's lift each other up. Like it's not a competition.
Yes.
Like, and I feel like there's so many things online where people be like, which female DJ is the best? And
Oh my gosh.
it's like, let's not compare ourselves to each other. Let's lift each other up, because like women overall in the scene are such like a minority that it's like, let's like bring us all up as a whole. If one of us goes up, we like, let's all go up. Like,
Absolutely.
so it's
The
nice having
rising
all the,
tide.
yeah. So it's nice having all the girls, because it's like, they understand the most what it's like being a female artist. So just having the support system of all the girls in the scene is really nice.
Yes.
We should have an all women festival. That'd be sick.
Ooh.
I love seeing all the women play. Anytime there's one of the girlies playing, I'm like, I need to see you. Like,
Go support, go hype
go
them
support
up,
the women.
show the love.
Support the women-owned businesses.
Yes.
Yes.
Hell
100%.
yeah.
Cool.
So it's nice having people like that you can relate to.
Yeah.
I agree.
Is there anything that we haven't talked about that you want the audience to know?
Just like eat a bunch of avocados, do what you love, like have the time of your life. Don't listen to like mean things people say. Yeah, just like focus on yourself and just try to live your happiest life is really all I've got to say.
Oh my God. I love that. Well, that was such a fun episode. Oh my God.
Yes.
Yeah, this was so much fun talking to you guys.
Yeah, thank you so much for jumping on and like just being so enthusiastic about all these questions. And it's been cool to like see a little bit behind the curtain based on this conversation.
It's been really cool talking to you guys.
I
Thank
know.
you.
And not like when there's like loud music going on. It's like a quick hi and bye and that's it.
I know, it's so nice. It's like we can actually really like sit down and, you know, get into everything.
Yes.